walks in the champ. Yes, Jamie Mitchell walked in, and we will be conducting an interview with her right now. So if you haven't already done so, you haven't dropped her a question, now is your opportunity to do so. Head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice and ask her anything, obviously within the lines, and we will address her directly by you and, get her thoughts on the matter. Either or. I think she wants to sit there. She already has her stuff there. You can come in. Watch your head. What, a laptop? Phone holder? Ah, you the champ, man, not me.
Sorry, I forgot my belt and everything.
It's all good. Can we make sure you adjust her mic and stuff? And Austin, is it on? Because I don't. So we caught you. Are you a morning person, champ?
Not really.
Can you speak into the mic?
Oh.
Thank you.
Not really, but I can.
What time do you normally get up?
Just depends on what I have to do that day. But like Saturdays, I'm a morning person because I have to be. But I usually get up early, but then I go back to sleep. So, yeah.
So let's start with some generic questions. What got you into this sport? Obviously, women's boxing doesn't have as many fighters in per division as men, which means that not that many women have the ambition, let alone the heart that it takes to do this sport. What made you decide to be a fighter?
Hard times, you know what I mean? Always kind of like loving to fight, so I think boxing just kind of suited me.
And you're a resident here of Las Vegas, but you're from originally California?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
So anybody that you pull inspiration from that area, anyone in growing up that kind of influenced you to be a fighter, or you would just gravitated on your own?
I gravitated on my own, but Mike Tyson influenced me to actually get in the ring, start boxing.
And did you find your first gym in Cali?
I found my first gym in Texas.
Okay, how'd that happen
Savannah's
from Cali?
Boxing Club. I was a foster child, so you know what I mean. They said I was like too bad for the state of California. So they shipped me from Los Angeles to Texas until I turned 18. Basically told me not to come back.
How many years in the system?
All my life, from the age of from birth to like 18.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow. So how was it for you dealing with that? Is that the motivation? Let me let you answer it. How was it for you? What do you use that to fuel you in the sport?
Well, dealing with that was that was normal for me. I mean, I didn't have anything else to base it off of, so that was just what it was for me. I mean, and being in that type of environment day in and day out from the time that you can remember all the way to you're 18, it definitely gives you that fight. You know what I mean? Because I came from child abuse, starvation, all kind of dark stuff. You know what I mean? So I had to fight my way through that. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you fought a lot in the foster system itself. Obviously,
yeah.
I feel like I can relate being a person that has gone to jail. I feel like having that many personalities in one room is never a good thing. How were your experiences coming up?
Well, I think going to jail and coming what I come from is different, because going to jail is like you kind of put yourself in that situation.
Absolutely.
My situation is like my mom's choices got me taken from her at 10 days old. You know what I mean? So I was already institutionalized. You know what I mean? So dealing with that, it was just, I think my raise that I had from the child abuse, from the starvation. I mean, I can remember being so hungry and thirsty, I drank toilet water. You know what I mean? So it was just like that type of stuff give you a whole different mindset. You know what I mean? And gives you that warrior mentality, kill or be killed.
I got to know the situation. What drove you? Like, where were you that you were forced to drink the toilet water?
So I was in this place in Los Angeles. I don't remember. I was like 6 years old when I left. And she would just starve me. Or if she felt like feeding me, she would like sit me on the ground.
And you mean your foster parent?
Yeah. Wow. Sit me on the ground and make me eat cereal with rotten milk type stuff. So, and then if I peeked out my head out to like basically I'm hungry type look. You know what I mean? She would just look at me. I knew what that look meant. Like disappear or else, you know. So I just went to the nearest bathroom and start drinking water.
And this is what I meant when I said, like, do you use this as motivation? Because again, I didn't want to give you my way of thinking until I heard your story. But like, I want to prove those people wrong, that they made a mistake, like that they should have treated me better. Like, look who I am. This is who you had in your presence at that time, and you didn't give me the love and the nourishment that I needed. But look, I'm a champion, or working to be a champion before you became one. I'm just asking, did you pull that as motivation? But I guess not.
I don't think so. I can't. I think at this point I'm proving people in the game, you know, in the boxing industry wrong. Or you know, I had friends that I was like giving money to, helping them out for holidays, that told me, you know, I came out the Olympic trials and I had, you know, the Olympic wear on, and you look stupid in that. You know what I mean? Like people that I was feeding. So it's like, I'm way past the darkness that I went through. I gotta be, you know what I mean? I mean, at the same time, I have a child myself, so I can't hold on to that and like, look what you guys did to me and pour me kind of an attitude. I'm past all of that.
How much, if any, has boxing influenced you, or maybe changed you as a mother? Because I've seen with other fighters who are parents, maybe the structure or maybe all the sacrifices that they make because of the sport and for their family kind of leads them to invest more time in their family and spend more time with their kids. What's
funny?
It like
Earl just said the exact same thing on All Access.
For me, I started boxing before I had my kid. So for me, to kind of piggyback off your original question, boxing was my first love. It didn't save my life, but it was my first love.
I got you.
So, you know, I got in the ring when I was like 16.
Right.
You know what I mean? I started taking off with my career in 2009. I had my son in 2007.
Okay.
So to me, I was already shaped as a parent. You know what I mean? Boxing was just like kind of like it chose me. You know what I mean?
How does your son feel about what you do?
He loved it. You know what I mean? He used to sit ringside when I was sparring. Keep your hands up, mommy. Like when he was a little kid, stuff like he don't know no different.
Teenager now. Do you think he'll follow in your footsteps?
No, sir.
You wouldn't allow him though.
Absolutely.
Sounded like that.
No. He trained with Roger Mayweather.
Oh wow.
And he told me, mommy, boxing is too hard. He was like 6. So he figured out quick he didn't want to do it. What he does now is jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So he actually has a fight coming up April 30th out here in Vegas. So I support him as far as that's concerned. So.
Okay.
So Ms. Mitchell, you're 37 years old, only have 8 fights, but became a champion, and you have 2 draws. So were there any doubts on the way to that world title versus Shannon Courtney where you were like, man, this ain't for me, or, you know, I'm not getting these decisions, it's too much of a struggle? How was it for you? Because you do have 2 draws before you were able to get that world championship.
Let me clear those draws up right quick. Those draws are very argumentative for me, you know what I mean?
More reason for it to be a mental thing.
Even if you go back and watch the footage on both of those draws, it's kind of ironic that I even got those draws. But we don't worry about what happened yesterday. We just move forward. You know what I mean? We can't fix that, obviously. You know what I mean? The judges felt the way they felt, and that's it. And to answer your question, no, it didn't really have no effect on me feeling insecure. I chose to sign a contract to fight Shannon. So obviously I had some type of belief in myself to go out there and get the job done. So
it's funny. We just had Evan Korn from Top Rank, and we were discussing Lomachenko, his first title opportunity fighting Orlando Salido. Salido comes in overweight. He had the belt, he comes in overweight, and that fight, obviously the belt was only on the line for Loma, which he ended up losing, but there was a lot of talk. When Shannon missed weight, was there like a thought in the back of your head like, oh shit, here we go? Like, you get what I'm saying? They're not respecting the contract. They're coming in. Obviously, at that point, the title's not on the line for her.
Or did you just relate because she called it her menstrual cycle, no? Pretty sure. No? Oh, sorry.
Yo, come on. Listen, check it out. Are these my headphones?
Yeah.
All right. Y'all just kind of threw me in the seat. Listen, I'm a woman, and, I have my woman thing every month as well. And if y'all go back and watch the fight, y'all gotta look at the fact that she was wearing white tights. And as a woman on your menstrual
Ain't
cycle,
no woman wearing
you do
white.
not wear white
Ain't
tights.
no woman wearing anything white.
You know,
Yeah.
we know Shannon's full of excuses. You know what I mean? And, you know, it did not have any like, oh, I had to stay focused. You understand me? So at the end of the day, I couldn't worry about what was going on around me. I had to just worry about me and my team and what got us to this point. And I knew I was on weight the night before. I went to sleep on weight and then shedded a pound in my sleep. So that's all we cared about. You know what I mean? Of course, yeah, we would have liked to get a little bit more as far as the purse is concerned. We didn't get nothing as far as her not making weight. But my whole concern was getting my foot in that door and becoming a world champion. So
What was that like for you going out there and fighting on a big stage, right? Up to that point, you hadn't really fought on any of those big stages, but you did that night a hell of a fight. And
I mean, I rank Boscas, Naomi. What about you?
Well, no, I'm saying as far as like in
World title?
front of thousands of people and things like that. Just
it was like 30 to 40,000 people.
yeah.
In there.
Just curious on what was that experience for you? Like, not just as a fighter, but just as a person, right? You got all these people here to watch you in a sense. What was that like for you?
I was numb. I didn't. It's like I saw him, but I didn't see him. You know what I mean? Those kind of stages, they scare people. And I mean, especially for the first time, you know. So to me, I was just like, I knew what the hell I came out there for. You know what I mean? And like I said last week, I had a dream about this fight before even this fight was even presented to me. So I knew what time it was. You know,
Was it against Shannon though, or was it just
no?
a title
It was
fight?
I had a dream about a black and gold belt. You know what I mean?
that's
And I had a
WBA.
dream about me and my coach standing in the ring with my manager.
Right.
So when my manager called me and was like, "Yo, we got a opportunity for you to fight for the WBA," I said, "What color is it?" He said, "The WBA is black and gold." I said, "Say less." And I took the fight. He didn't tell me who I was fighting or the location I was fighting or nothing. I just knew it was my time. So I understood differently than everyone else. You know what I mean? That I was up my way. So
Turned around a couple months after we saw your first title defense. That was in Phoenix. That was a hell of a card. We actually watched that together. What was that title defense like? You looked, sensational. Got the KO. What was that like for you to kind of, all right, cool, we got the belt, but now we got to keep it. You know, talk to us about coming back with that title and then getting into camp for, your first title defense.
yeah, it was basically my officialness, you know what I mean, that fight. Okay, now you official. I mean, we fought Shannon Courtney just a few months prior, and she was not a true warrior. Because if you can't make weight for your first title defense, then it's like, well, what kind of champion are you? You know what I mean? So it's like I solidified myself in becoming a WBA world champion. So
Well, that's kind of a phrase in boxing, no? Amongst fighters, like you're not a champion until you defend it.
exactly, yeah.
Ms. Mitchell, I wanted to ask about, obviously, your manager. He's very experienced, and I believe all his fighters have been women and successful women fighters and champions. Right now, he's got a new champion. What's your thoughts on Ebony Bridges?
Oh man, I think that'd be a great fight for me. I think she's a hell of a fighter. So I think that would be a nice little fight for me. It'd definitely be another step up for me in my career. I think that'd be a nice little matchup.
You guys are both on Dazn, no?
Yeah, we're both with Matchroom.
Perfect,
Eddie,
perfect.
yeah.
Has there been any talks of, I mean, obviously they may give her another fight because she just won her title, or have you been told like that's what we should be looking forward to for the 2022?
Right now, I think they want me to have the rematch.
with
there's a
Courtney.
rematch clause with Courtney. So
Oh wow! So you can keep your rematch clause even after you miss weight, because doesn't the belt go vacant and each sanctioning body has their own rules? Like I know the WBC, if you win a vacant title, you got 2 mandatories. I don't know about yours, which is a WBA.
yeah, it's two. It's two fights in that within that contract. They have to both be from the UK or in the UK, whatever.
So you got a Devin Haney contract.
Possibly. I don't know what his contract looks like.
I mean, it just means that you had to fight the champion in her hometown and beat her once. If you beat her once, you got to beat her twice in her hometown. Devin got to go to Australia twice.
Well, now that I'm champion, we got to see.
Oh.
As far as the location is concerned. We're arguing about that right now as we speak.
But was it already in contract that you were supposed to go back over there?
No, it was just that I had to rematch her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ideally, where would you want it?
Of course, I want it my way. It's Burger King.
Yeah, but where?
I wanted it my way in the States. If not in Vegas,
which one? Okay.
you know what I mean? Just somewhere, California, Vegas, you know what I mean? New York. It would definitely have to be, in the States somewhere. I think I've earned that privilege.
Now, one would assume that financially it makes more sense to go back to her hometown because women's boxing is thriving more over there in the UK.
Financially, I'm going to get paid the same no matter where it is.
Oh man, that's
it's already in
those rematch contract clauses, man.
Yeah,
it sucks. Andy, I believe, was able to negotiate something a little bit more on the second fight with AJ because he won. But you're again back to your manager who has many people. He's had experience with Shelly, Vincent. Even my girl from Brooklyn, what's
Veronica Jeffrey.
I think she's like from no, that's not the Barbados flag. She might be let me just look it up. I'm
Melissa?
sorry. Yes, Melissa.
Okay.
Yeah, he's had a lot of women that I know and that have been very successful. He's even got O'Shea Jones. Like
he got what's the girl's name? She was from there. She was an Olympic, non-Olympic weight class gold medalist. I can't remember her name right now.
What was the girl you just mentioned? Last name Jeffries.
Ronica?
Yes.
I fought on her undercard too out here in Vegas.
And at the
and
Thomas
we both
and
got
Mack.
draws. It was crazy. It was a crazy night.
I
crazy.
actually met her, not as a fighter. She was doing something else, but I was at that fight at the Thomas and Mack.
Yeah, Roy Jones.
Roy Jones Promotions. I was at that fight.
Yeah,
because I'm like, when I saw your fight in Arizona and when I saw your fight against Shan, I'm like, I know I've seen her. I just couldn't picture it. I've never interviewed you, but I was there. That's the only fight I've been to at the Thomas and Mack, oddly enough. So do we have maybe like a time frame when we could see you back?
Well, I'm hoping the talk is summer. We don't know when in the summer, so I was hoping to be on the Canelo undercard. You know what I mean? But that's happening next month, and I haven't heard anything. I figure I would have heard something by now if it was going to be in May. So I'm hoping June, July. We got to see.
I want you to talk a little bit about, and I hope I'm not wrong here, but I want to believe I've seen you. Your trainer is Dewey Cooper, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I know he's worked with Jesse a little bit in the past, even Devin a little bit in the past.
Current UFC heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou. So
Bubba Jenkins.
What drew you to him? How did you meet him, and why is he your trainer?
So I was training at the Mayweather's gym. I had my assistant Olympic coach from 2012. I was still amateur, and he would kind of be in and out. Dewey Cooper is a very busy guy, and so then that coach was leaving to go back home because nobody's really from Vegas. And I started training with Eddie Mustafa, and I seen Dewey Cooper. And Eddie Mustafa was kind of like the situation with Jack Badu and all of that. So his you know what I mean. And Eddie Mustafa had me sparring with one of Dewey's fighters.
Male, female?
Female.
Okay.
And I was doing good for myself, putting on for myself, and I was all like, but I've always seen Dewey Cooper around. His grit and his work ethic is just like no other. So I was like, I like that, you know what I mean? So that's when I kind of like just hit up his nephew, because me and his nephew, my strength and conditioning coach now, David Haynes, I hit him up and he was like, man, ask him for yourself. And so I talked to my coach. And it just worked. My coach then was Eddie Mustafa, and it just kind of worked out. So I just got with him, been with him ever since.
Was there any differences? Did you gel immediately? Did you feel a little odd because he does do some mixed martial arts training, and he's not just predominantly boxing, or was it just smooth sailing?
We definitely gel together. I mean, he does all of the sports. So he knows how to conduct himself when he's training a mixed martial artist or a boxer. But as to answer your question, we mush together like really instantly. Also, it took me, when I first got with him, it took me about 2 to 3 months to get used to his workouts. I would come straight home and like crash.
Because they were so intense?
It was intense, yeah. It was intense. So
is it like high interval, or you mean the boxing workouts are intense?
Period, all of it. Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
so.
I got some questions from the people. Obviously, we let them know that you were going to be on the show. So I got Ruin a 504, which is New Orleans. He says, in your opinion, why isn't women's boxing bigger?
Well, women's boxing is growing. You know what I mean? I mean, it's bigger than what it was before 2012 when they allowed women's to box in the Olympics for the first time. So I think it's growing in its own right. I mean,
do you credit any one female for the resurgence of boxing?
Well, definitely. I mean, I credit Clarissa Shields. I mean, I was one of the first women who went to the Olympic trials. So I credit myself, Marlene Espinoza, Katie Taylor. I mean, there's a lot of us that had to do with where it's going and where it's at right now.
Outside of yourself or just women in or around your weight class, what women do you like, or what women do you like to watch fight? You know, regardless of weight, just somebody that you're a fan of.
I like to watch Marlene, man. I spar with her, man. She is busy. She is intense. Yeah, so I like to watch her when she fights. I always try to tap in with her fights. Of course, your girl Clarissa Shields, Amanda Serranos, Katie Taylor, Ann Wolf. I even go back then and watch her. There's a lot of different fighters. Ava Knights. You know what I mean?
Okay, absolutely.
Wow. Your trainer has the girl that they call her like Baby Mike Tyson. Have you met her?
Lady Tyson? Lady Tyson?
Yeah, Lady Tyson. Is it?
Lady Tyson.
But her last name is like Fayava or Fiava.
Oh. I like to watch Lady Tyson as well. Pink Tyson?
Oh, man. Let me see if she has it registered on BoxRec, her nickname. She's from Samoa over there by Hawaii, but she's trained out of Canastota. She got the Mike Tyson all right, she's young. She only 5-0. She's very young though. She's only 20. She got a draw, but she got the style down pack, and she's trained out of Canastota. That's what, man.
You talk about my manager?
Yes, your manager has her.
You said trainer. So.
Okay.
I said trainer.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was jacked up. I was like, I think you only got me in this Muay Thai guy.
I'm sorry. Okay. I mean, your manager, Brian Cohen, he has a lot of females.
Yeah, he got them all. He got all of them. He got everybody except Clarissa, really.
He even got Liana Cruz. It's crazy. He's got everybody.
Yeah, Liana, that's my girl. Shout out to Liana.
Really quick, before you continue with the questions, just because you brought up a couple names. So did you watch the Savannah Marshall fight this past weekend?
Oh, wow.
I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was too busy working. I was in the mountains running. And when I got back, I was like,
I'm sure you've seen that highlight knockout,
we can pull it up.
I seen the highlights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, while we get that pulled up really quick, you brought up Amanda and you brought up Katie. How do you see their fight on April 30th play out?
Man, have y'all seen Katie Taylor's neck? Her neck is big, man. She's a strong girl. But
that is the knockout here.
Hold on, we'll get from the beginning here
because it happens very quickly. It's one big left hook.
So obviously, she is the last person to beat Clarissa in boxing. That granted, that was 10 years ago. It seems like their fight is headed for a summer showdown.
That exhale almost feels like we're on the same page. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I feel like she's living off of that loss, like that win. Like that was so long ago. Can you do something else since then? Like her only claim to boxing is fighting Clarissa. Do you feel that way?
Man, listen, I mean, we can't, like I said earlier in my conversation with you guys, that was yesterday, bro. You know, Clarissa, that's before she became one-time gold medalist and before she became two-time gold medalist. She's done so much.
Exactly.
Since that lesson. She took that lesson and ran with it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And she has done more for boxing than her.
I don't think,
what I mean? And it's just like, I just feel like she's not a little girl anymore. You know what I mean? And I definitely see Clarissa Shields winning, being victorious that night.
Yeah, it's crazy because boxing is a small world, so everybody fights each other in the amateurs, and we'll bring that up, but it seems like that's the only person who
gets because Danny. No one is saying, "Oh, I want Danny to fight Terrence Crawford because he beat him in the amateurs." No one is saying, "I want Mikey to fight Terrence Crawford because he beat him in the amateurs." We ain't even saying Ugas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, an amateur loss is an amateur loss. Yes, it ties you to a fighter, but you shouldn't have your entire career be built off that. Like, they've been talking about Clarissa since Savannah turned pro, and it just doesn't stop.
Literally since she turned pro.
And it's just like she was with Eddie Hearns, and they were close to making a fight happen, and then she left. Eddie Hearns, which is, he's a pretty good promoter. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on now, let's just make this fight happen. And I'm not one that talk. That's not my style. It's just never been my style ever since I started boxing. So it's like at some point we got to put up. You know what I mean? But shout out to my girl Clarissa Shields. She's the queen.
So I'm about to butcher these names on our next question from Mr. Adore, who says, do you know if you or your team were offered a fight with, I want to say, Zarina McCoy before you accepted the Carly Shelke fight?
Well, like I said earlier in the conversation, when I signed a fight to fight Shannon Courtney, it was a 3-fight contract deal. And like I explained to you, it was everybody from the UK. So those 3 fights had to be from the UK, people from the UK. To answer your question, no, nobody from my team turned it down because it was already stated that I couldn't fight nobody from the US. We don't like to talk about sparring and what happens in sparring, but that same girl never wanted to spar with me. And thirdly, when I needed lefty work for the Skelly fight, it was like trying to get her coach to answer the phone was crazy for like 3 weeks. Texting and asking for work. They didn't want to spar because they know what happened at the doghouse in the Mayweather gym. So then you turn around and just make up this allegation saying that Matchroom turned a fight down with you. You're not even in the conversation. You're losing fights in Mexico. You know what I mean? And you want to fight me. You're not even in the conversation to even have a fight with me. So.
All right. I got Dual Ingram that says, can you ever see yourself being forced to fight in another combat sport because of pay for women's boxing? Or what do you think of a female boxer showing little or a lot of extra cleavage during weigh-ins to sell tickets? So I guess I don't have to put a name.
Well, to answer your first question, my coaches, Dewey Cooper and David Haynes. So I was actually, before I got the Shannon Courtney fight, I was actually training for MMA. I was doing a lot of MMA training, vigorous work. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be forced. I wouldn't mind doing it. You know what I mean? If it makes sense. And, we in boxing. This ain't porn. It's boxing. To answer your second question.
Okay, this ain't porn. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm reading the question again. but again, back to I gotta get your manager's number. I need him in here because he's got Melissa Odessa Parker. You talked about MMA. She's doing MMA. She actually beat Roman, who Ebony just won her title from, and because it wasn't with a Matchroom, the title wasn't even on the line. So Melissa really supposed to have that belt. And he's your manager. So like, do you see these fights happening in the future because it's kind of same stable? Like, you got a lot of names in your own manager's, stable that are great fights for you. Like, I love the Odessa fight. I love the Bridges fight. Bridges fight might put you over the top commercially. Odessa's a dog.
Yes.
There's some fights there for you in your own stable. What do you think of that?
We taking fight by fight. I'm not running or ducking from nobody. You know what I mean? I'm here, and I'm here to get all the way to the top and be number one. So,
London's Runs Boxing says, congratulations on your win over Shannon. That was the easiest money I ever made, laugh out loud. If Shannon isn't next for you, would you like to unify with Ebony Bridges, who lost to Shannon previously? Obviously, we just asked you that, so unless you want to add to it.
Absolutely. I would love to fight Shannon. I mean, Ebony Bridges, you know what I mean? And then what's the girl that's number one in the weight division in the world? I can't remember her name. I'm bad with names, you guys.
In your division?
Yeah.
Let me double check.
Yeah, it's like her and Ebony Bridges that's like on my radar.
Avila.
Possibly.
We're gonna need him. Julian. What do you call that? What is that? Juliana?
She's not.
There's no A at the end, so I think it's Julian Luna Avila.
I'm trying to see. Let me see it.
She's ranked 1 in the world.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm terrible.
Where your Mexican Spanish at, bro? Julian.
Luna Avila, yeah. And then obviously, and this is according to BoxRec. They have you at 3. They got Dina
Thorst London.
I think that might be it. So it starts with a D.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's
she's number 2 now. She's 17-0.
She's number 2?
Yeah, the Mexican girl is number 1 now, who's 23 and 3.
So wait. Did you see her last fight? Does it show her last fight? Did she win or
who?
She
Dina?
was number 1. Yeah.
Dina is undefeated, but she's not number 1 anymore.
Man,
it looks like Avila.
And this is on BoxRec. Obviously, different places.
Yeah. So the reason she's not number 1 is because Avila just had a fight 2 days ago.
Oh, I see.
3 days ago.
I see.
And so she got ranked. She just had a unanimous decision.
I thought she was fighting as well
versus Malieli Flores.
Okay.
So I got Alejandro Vega in Florida says, appreciate your time, champ. What would be your ideal next 3 fights?
My ideal next 3 fights would be Shannon Courtney, I would have to say, because I think that's next for me. Ebony Bridges, and whoever ranked 1 is in the world.
If it ain't Dina at the time, is Malcielis? What was it? Luna. No, Avelis. Yeah. Coach Myers in Connecticut. First off, we're proud of what you've overcame growing up. Some of those struggles can mentally tear a person's life apart. My question is, who is your favorite female boxer of all time? And you remind me of Ann Wolf.
Appreciate the compliment, sir. Good morning. Good morning. I think that is my favorite female of all time, Ann Wolf. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of or met Shadeja Green?
Damn, that sounds familiar. That Green sounds familiar. I can't say yes. I can't say no. I just say that last name sounds familiar.
I wish she had some sparring to show you here. This is sparring. Can we get a screen share? She's 168. She is the WBC silver to Franchon Cruz. I believe she's one of the best kept secrets in boxing. I've been hit with that left hand. Very educated. She sparred with Clarissa, sparred with Alicia Napoleon, sparred with Christina Hammer. Christina Hammer brought her in to prepare for Clarissa. Clarissa brought her in to prepare her for Franchon Cruz. She's got work with Franchon. Obviously in the Olympics, she was an alternate.
Yeah.
And she's got the whole...
she got the whole package.
I was gonna say she's got the whole the trainer that just mentioned, right? And Wolf thing going on, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because she's a puncher, but she's super slick, obviously being from the East Coast.
She now what's her record now?
I like her style.
8-0, 7 KOs. So we'll see after Franchon unifies what's gonna happen, because she's not with a big promoter or anything like that.
I guess my manager might end up signing her too, huh?
Hell yeah, he need to. We need her to get a break. I've been talking about her for 3 years, man.
She not like that.
Yeah. So what else we got? Looks like Steven in UK says, hey champ, thanks for coming on the show. Shields versus Marshall, who you got in that fight? Good luck in a rematch. Steven in UK, you did answer that.
She did answer.
I got Shields all day long.
All day.
All day and night.
I think that's it, unless you got any more.
I don't have anything, champ. No.
All right. Any sort of message you want to put out? Any place you want to direct our listeners? Maybe new fans of yours, you want to have them follow you on Instagram? Obviously there's no ticket sales right now, but anywhere you want to direct them. Maybe you got a personal.com, or you're doing any ventures you want to let the audience know.
Well, definitely follow me on all 3 of my social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Jamie the Miracle Mitchell. And I have my own website, my own logo that it's being built. Was already built. Buy sweaters, hoodies, hats, phone cases, socks, backpacks. I got a lot of little knickknacks. PrevailAthletics.com, and also that you can go there and read my story and learn more about me. And shout out to my guy, Black Influence. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Yep. So we were talking about weight. Do you have any strength and conditioning coaches? Any dietitians? Are you using like perfecting athletes, or you do it all on your own?
Strength and conditioning coaches. My strength and conditioning coach is David Haynes.
Okay.
Monster, man. He's a beast. Shout out to him. And I do my own meal prepping, and I also I'm working on a sponsorship deal with Meal Prep as well. So Foodie Fit.
Okay.
Foodie Fit, yeah. They're pretty good. So I'm working with them as well.
Okay. Well, those are all our questions. We're going to take a quick intermission.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Untitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.